I've got a report here for the first quarter of 2025 with over 700 respondents that I find of interest. So you're probably from the industry if you're watching this. If you're not, that's fine. Consumers can watch it too. By the way, if you're a member of the nkba, you get this report for free. If you're not, then you have to pay for it. I just want to point out a couple highlights from this report that I found value, and I hope it could be of benefit to any of you, maybe some of you that are newer in the industry. I've been in the industry for over 30 years. It was October of 94 when I got into the industry, into working for a cabinet shop, and then got into sales design and got certified from that point as a kitchen designer. The KBMI rating, the Kitchen Bath Market Index rating, they're giving is 55 out of 100, down from basically 60 out of 100 in the quarter 24. I'll tell you why I'm not too concerned about this, and I've got multiple reasons for that, to give you evidence for that from what I know from the industry. But I do want to indicate some interesting things here. So now, the kitchen bath activity. So I want to just take a moment on this. You see here, they're saying here's, whatever, I guess, same median, maybe. I don't know what that is when I say same. But, here's, 2018-19 and first quarter 2020, which were, I guess, trying to fill the needs of the demand in the industry that was relatively there. First quarter 2020 is probably not a good one because that's what COVID hit during that time, and things quickly deteriorated, as you can see here. But then the demand jumped up because of the simply people were at home, they had money, and they worked on projects. So I think what you're seeing, in my opinion, which is I think the overall this report, I'm going to jump into some specifics, is the COVID demand, and then you see the decline because the COVID demand filled some of that need. Now I think you're starting to see a little bit of stabilization, in my opinion, which is healthy. Okay, so all the market indices are down from design, building, retails, except for manufacturing, which is very interesting to me. Is that just filling in from demand from before the quarter? Are they stocking up inventory to get ready for what they believe to be the demand? And I'm going to share with you something that's going to give you a good outlook on one of the screens a little bit later here. Okay, so all the indices are down. Again, it doesn't concern me a ton right now. And the reason why is because of the demand. There's too much need for housing right now, guys. There's just in my state alone, there's over 40,000 residential units short of the need. In other words, people living in the basements or renting out bedrooms because they can't afford to get into a house due to interest rates or something, the market pricing. Both of those have to be adjusted for a lot of people to get into homes. But either way, that's a factor there. Interesting to me here that designs saw the biggest growth. Or actually, this is expectation. They're expecting 3.1 growth, but this is what they saw for sales growth in that time. And I think that was a little bit of that was the hangover from the election, and also a little bit of the tariffs, of course. And again, I wonder, as a designer, I'm a kitchen designer, I wonder how much AI and saturation of good industry knowledge is affecting that. And I mean, no disrespect to designers. I'm a designer. This is what I do for a living, right? I'm experienced in this space heavily. Again, you're seeing the dip, the growth, the lack of demand because it's mostly satisfied here in this. And I'm not an economist, guys. This is not my specialty. I've just dealt with consumers, right, and builders, and local building professionals and the associations. So I mean, I feel like I guess I have some. This is relevant to share. I don't see it as a big concern. The growth based on markets, sales based on the markets. West slower, Midwest is the growth. Texas, I think, benefiting from migration from other significant states like New York and California. I live in the Southwest. In my particular market, not just the state, but the market primarily, it's actually we're seeing still lots and lots of large projects that we're working on. So for us, it's really good, the outlook. So this is lead times and prices. Oh, I did want to emphasize something here. Kitchen bath tools, digital tools, you're seeing some significant increase in some of these in their demand. I'm surprised one of them in here is not Chat GPT. I use that every day and growing using even more. But a lot of these are basing their tools off of AI, and I think you're going to see a lot of the. It doesn't matter what the software component is. I think all of them are going to change dramatically based on AI integration into their tools, and AI is going to change all of them much faster, I think, than in the past. So I think that's good for us. It'll speed things up, right? Um, Project completions declined, and again, I think that's these are just evident of the things I've been saying. It's not to take away the reality that they are what they are, but I still think that some of it is now backlogs. Now, I consider this a really healthy thing. So, in my industry, it's saying that this is 1.8 months. I was going to say 18 months. It's 1.8 months backlog. Yeah, that's getting a little bit close to being caught up, right? But don't we kind of want to be closer to being caught up and not being behind? I mean, I'd rather be behind just a little bit. So maybe we get down to 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month backlog. But I don't, this is where things were really hairy. This is the worst time in my career that I've ever experienced. It was really difficult. For those of you that were in the industry then or have been in the industry long enough to experience a good period of time before that, it was not very fun. Just a couple of pointers here. Designers feel that cost of materials recession and skilled labor is a big concern, for recession being number two. Whereas in the retail segment, I'm just going to zip through here and you see a little bit of inventory, lowering inventory causing, lower inventory growing a little bit because I think they see some things that others don't. Their fear of recession is lower on the scale than the designers was. And then in the building and remodeling segment, the slow here in the first quarter. Again, I think interest rates and tariffs both combined are causing a little bit of headache naturally. But and again, their backlog as well. But I think, again, that's good. We want to get a little bit closer to zero from what I believe. Maybe not. Maybe there's others that are economists that would say differently. Their fear of recession is the number two, but cost of materials is the biggest concern, and skilled labor is still in there. So all three of those are the same for each of those segments, which I do find being very, very interesting. Now, here's manufacturers. This is very fascinating. So watch the manufacturers thing here. Okay, so the manufacturers, there it is right here, cabinet shops. 9.3% on their enthusiasm ratings. They're the highest of all the segments. So the interesting thing there, in my opinion, is you're seeing some cabinet shops are manufacturing for stock, but often others are manufacturing for new projects, right? Or for on demand or as per order, on order. So for me, that's a good sign. I like what we're seeing. Research and development is growth. Training is growth. That's good. That means we'll be in a better place for our, for the growth as it continues to go. And I think I just wanted to mention one other thing here. I think just to highlight or to emphasize, that's just showing you the regions and their impact. Over 700 respondents, and it's relatively even between each of the markets. Designers, building and remodeling, pretty close. Slightly smaller, but not too bad for manufacturing and retail sales. So what I'd like to just end this report on is say is, look, the demand for housing is strong. It's a problem we've got to fix. And I believe between government entities, national associations, private industry, but also, individuals and really good creative people, we can come up with solutions to fix the problem. And we need to. And that's what I believe puts a really strong outlook for the next 5 years. This is just from Shad. But look, you guys, if you like the content and what I'm doing here, you can always ask questions, but please subscribe. Help me keep this going and then share this with others who could benefit. I sure appreciate you watching. Thanks.